Hello and welcome to my garden. I'm Sean McMenemy, and today we're going to take a look at keeping bird feeders clean. While feeding the birds is an absolute joy, and bird feeders nowadays come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, from domes, tubes, cages, squirrel proofs, and some are easy clean, some are tool clean. We'll go through the steps of all of those, but fundamentally with bird feeding there does come a responsibility, and that is hygiene and to keep birds healthy. So best practice is to, depending on how busy they are, maybe more often, maybe slightly less often, but aim for about every couple of weeks to take your feeders down and give them a good clean, change the food out. Every month or so is to dismantle them and give them a deep clean and disinfect, dry, rinse and put back. And we'll go through all of the steps of those. Regardless of the type of feeder you have, the fundamental steps are the same, and we'll cover that in this video. That sun is your friend, so direct sunshine and UV rays are an excellent disinfectant. So once we've cleaned and rinsed our feeders, even during the winter months, if you can try and pick a sunny day and put all of the parts in direct sunshine to dry, that's much better than putting them in a shed or a garage or a dark space. So just bear that in mind, because we haven't got the greatest day to do this demonstration. Okay, we've got everything ready now. We've got our bird feeder dismantled and in the bucket. I've got some warm water, not hot water, and we're going to be using the Arc Cleanse as the detergent today. This mixes down at a rate of 10 millilitres to 5 litres, and the watering can holds 15 litres, so I shall use 3 measures. Squeeze the pot, tip it in, squeeze up to the 10 millilitre line, tip it in, squeeze it up to 3, tip it in, as simple as that. Then I'm going to pour my water in. Now, if it doesn't completely cover the feeder, what I can do is simply refill the watering can and judge how much to the top and strengthen the fluids as needed. But because I use this particular bucket all the time, I know that that's going to fill it to the top. So there we go. And it says to leave them for about 5 or 6 minutes. Personally, I always leave it for 15 minutes. Can you see the green grime on there? Get everything soaked. It just makes it easier to clean it afterwards. The feeder doesn't fully bury under the fluid here, so what I'll do is I'll just potter around the garden and I'll just come and swizz it around every now and again just to make sure it's all getting fully soaked. Right, okay, 15 minutes has passed and here we are back at the feeder that has been left to get soaked in detergent. And while I was pottering in the garden, my wife shouted out the window, "Put your gloves on, you're dealing with detergents." I went, yes, so please forgive me. And before you start cleaning feeders, of course, put your gloves on. The feeders are dirty, they could have bacteria on them, and you're dealing with detergents which could irritate your skin, so gloves always before you start. So anyway, here we are, we'll get back. Now that's all soaked, I don't know whether you can see from there or not, but just putting the brush across the surface of it, that is just virtually clean anyway, so the dirt's just fallen away off of the feeder. So all I'm doing now is basically giving it a scrub to make sure that we get rid of any sticky detritus or food or anything else. And I'll show you the reason why we were saying about the toothbrush is because if I dig down and find, there we go, one of the feed ports, you see the little entrance there, it'd be very difficult to get the big brush in there, and the kitchen brush, the bristles aren't long enough to reach right inside, whereas with the toothbrush it's a bit like, you know, going around your teeth and your gums. It pops inside there and just makes cleaning these small parts really, really simple. So keep hold of your toothbrushes. Right, okay, so once we've gone through and scrubbed each of the individual components, all we need to do is to drain that away, and it is safe to go down a domestic drain as well. But as we said at the outset, is count the parts in and count the parts out before you go chucking anything away. You do not want to lose any parts of your bird feeders. So I'll carry on with this, finish off each of those components, and then the final part, basically tip it out, refill the bucket with fresh water, put the parts back in, give them a swish, count the parts back out again, make sure I've got all my components, chuck away the water, and then try, if possible, to get all of the parts in a sunny spot and let the sunshine dry them out before reassembly. And that's all there is. And what I did forget to do at the outset, I always do this with the videos because I'm gardening while doing these things, I get distracted easily, is I completely forgot, while you're taking feeders apart and doing complicated jobs, why not take the simple feeders, job done. Give it a quick rinse, and now my suet feeder is also clean.